Speaking of having fun, Brian, guess who apparently isn't having fun anymore?
I don't know.
Beth Phoenix has announced she is leaving the broadcast team at NXT. She didn't say she wasn't having fun anymore, but if you're really just giddily enjoying something, do you say, but I don't want to do it right now anymore? She said she's going to spend more time with the family, which is, I think, another way of saying, look at this television program. Is it worth me leaving Asheville for?
Yeah, it's another way of saying, you know what? Scotty 2 Hotty wasn't wrong. That's what that is. Another person from NXT who said, I'd rather be anywhere else but here.
And it's a shame. I mean, she, I thought, was doing a very good job. She's well-spoken. She has the wrestler's eye view as a background. So she's a legitimate color person in the sense that the color person, the color spot, the color analyst in sports was supposed to be an ex-jock or an ex-player, an ex-pro or whatever. So she had that. I thought she was doing a good job. She had to, at least she could do the announcing from home during the pandemic. Why don't they just say, well, Beth, just go home and do it from your house, and we'll just act like you're here next to us. We'll tighten up the on camera, and we'll just look over to the left and say, what do you think, Beth? And then you can answer from Asheville.
It'll be even funnier then when she says, I really just don't want that kind of commute. It's not worth it.
All the way up to the bedroom? Come on. But it can't be a good sign for what people internally think of what has become of that program. And I'm not saying it was perfect to begin with. We mentioned that when we were reviewing it on a more regular basis, that there was good stuff, and that's where you'd see the best matches, but there were also a lot of interchangeable guys that everybody tries to do the same thing. It was a little on the dark side. Boy, they fixed that right up. But it wasn't a bad program. It just needed better creative and had a good amount of talent. So instead, they disrupt the entire creative, run a bunch of the talent off, replace them with people that are totally green. So now you got a developmental program on national television. And already, besides the wrestlers being on, one of the producers has quit. I don't do this anymore.
But the thing is, the television show's one problem. This is a bigger problem. I'm not even speaking specifically about Beth Phoenix. And I don't even know if she owns that name, so I don't know what to call her.
Wait a minute. She was Beth Phoenix when she came to OVW, and I think that was before she got a contract.
Oh, okay. I hope so.
I think. I could be corrected if somebody wants to, but I think.
But the television show is a problem. The television show's not causing the problems. The overall morale issues there are from the overall division. It's from the way it's being run. It's from what it is. There are morale issues there right now, and it's not just the wrestlers. And I won't be surprised if there are more people jumping off that ship. To choose nothing. Scott Taylor, whatever his real name is, Scotty 2 Hotty left to do who knows what. He was just like, you know what? I'd much rather be somewhere else. Beth Phoenix said, you know what? I'd rather be here. I'd rather be with my kids. And by the way, that is the right answer. It always is more fun to be with your family and your kids. But it's also, nice to make a lot of money for working a couple days a week. I think there's bigger problems with NXT. Anyone who knows certainly knows there are big problems with morale with NXT.
Well, here's another thing, and as we're going to talk more later on in the program about the Ruthless Aggression documentary episode, but as relates to modern NXT, have they begun, I've not heard about it, have they begun running any live events for the guys to work on in Florida after the pandemic? Any spot shows, any, they were running small local, you still didn't hear a lot about them, but they were running small local shows that some of the guys could work on pre-pandemic to get experience, not necessarily the top NXT guys that would be on the TV show, but just the guys breaking in at least, whatever. I guess that has not been restarted, has it? And I've missed it?
Not that I've heard of, and we'll talk later on about the Ruthless Aggression documentary, but based on everything I see and everything I hear and everything I watch, I wonder if they care at all about the live event aspect of it at all. And it's just like, all right, let's get these people in there and let's create this monster.
Well, but
and it never works out. The monster always like walks into the sea.
That's unfortunately, if you have a performance center where guys can train to do moves, but you don't run events where guys can have legitimate one-take matches in front of people, small amount of people, large amount of people, whatever amount of people, but people, then you don't have a developmental program. You've got a wrestling school.